It's showtime!
Welcome to Show Me Some Television, the segment where I binge watch television thanks to Roger's Show Me service, which I'm getting for free still. Woo! Don't, knock on wood there, right? Yeah, so I watch television and then I tell you about it. So, what are we talking about today? We are talking about Homeland Season 4. Now, it's been quite a while since I tackled any Homeland, and honestly, I believe Homeland may have been one of the first series that I talked about on Show Me Some Television. So, going back to the beginning here, so essentially, if, spoilers to those who haven't seen seasons 1 through 3, I suggest either watching them or, at least checking out my other video. But honestly, you're better off watching them, not to spoil anything. I'm going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible, but sometimes things just come out. They do. In Season 4, we have essentially Carrie Matheson is now she was a station chief or station head or something like that at the beginning of the season. And, she makes a call to essentially put a drone strike on a terrorist. And it doesn't quite go very well. It ends up being that they blow up a wedding. So, it moves on from there, and she's trying to figure out what went wrong, why the intel wasn't quite up to snuff, and it progresses to she ends up being a station chief again at another location where they are essentially, they find out the person they were trying to kill is how would you put it? The person they were trying to kill essentially killed all his family except for one boy, and so they want to get information from him if possible, and it continues on from there, and things unravel, and certain things happen. People get killed. Carrie ends up going, mental, there's a lot of political back and forth and spying and all that kind of stuff that you would tend to find in a Homeland. But honestly, I felt Season 4 almost played out more like a season of 24. Just the way it was happening. It was a very much almost like hour to hour to hour to hour, rather than a long drawn out plot. It was, day to day to day. It took place in a pretty short period of time. I'm not going to say that was a bad thing, but it didn't quite seem like a Homeland season compared to the first 3. Again, my biggest problems with Homeland, which I mentioned before, really take front and center come Season 4, and this is my, how does Claire Danes' character, Carrie Matheson, who is clearly not all there mentally, able to become an agent in the Bureau, and then have become somebody who's not only an agent but has her, finger on the trigger. She's able to make orders to just blow people up and kill people. She is in charge of that. And it's clear in this one that, like I said, she does have a breakdown, and people become, if they didn't know before, they know now. But again, like I said, there's no way that somebody who is in her mental state makes it through all the psych evaluations for this kind of stuff. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, oddly enough, Mandy Patinkin's character, Saul Berenson, does have a pretty big role in this season. At first, I didn't think he would, because he, retires. I think it's season 3, right? So I didn't figure, I figured maybe a cameo, but no, he actually has a very, very huge role in this season, which was kind of odd. So that was interesting to see. And then, of course, you have Peter Quinn, the Peter Quinn character played by Rupert Friend, who's quite involved in this. And then there's other people who have, aren't major players in the past, but do have several instances in this season where they are players of some sort. Some of them more than others, and others not so much. This has a very much a new, I'd say a new cast. A lot of new characters are thrown into the mix. Some of them may have been there before, but they weren't, major characters. But there's a lot of new major characters come season 4. But again, it always tends to revolve around Carrie Matheson. So honestly, instead of Homeland, it should have just been called Carrie or something like that. But I get it. Claire Danes, I believe she's a producer on the program. She's the star of the program, and it has to revolve around her, even though I do think she is unfit for the job. Not Claire Danes, the Carrie Matheson character. Let me get that straight. Claire Danes, on the other hand, I think this may have been her best performance in this character to date. I thought she did very, very well, and it made sense to what was going on in the actual, each episode in the season in general. Whereas I did feel in some of the previous seasons where what she was doing didn't quite make as much sense. In this one, it definitely does. There are instigations and reasons for her actions and the way she acted. It just made sense, and she did a very, very good job. Also, Mandy as Saul Berenson does a phenomenal job in this season. I don't honestly, I loved his character before, but now, oh my God, talk about taking that acting up to the next level. He's always been a good actor, don't get me wrong, but this season 4 definitely had his character in situations he wasn't in before, and as such he was really able to shine as an actor. Everybody else, they do good jobs. They're standard. They come through and do their thing. Peter Quinn, the character of Peter Quinn, is used very extensively in this season, and I think Rupert Friend does a really good job with the character, because he could have really taken it kind of campy and over the top, and he doesn't. It really does feel a little bit down to earth and believable as a result. So kudos to him for being able to pull that off. But yeah, season 4, it's weird. It doesn't really feel like Homeland, other than the fact that it deals with, CIA, terrorists, the Middle East, that kind of a thing. But outside of that, it really did feel more like a season of 24 than it did Homeland. I think they needed to, it really should have been drawn out longer, instead of being so, you know, quick to have the instigation and the subsequent reactions, actions, and climax of the season. Again, it's only 12 episodes rather than, you know, like a 24, but, and I think that may be the reason why. If it had been more like 24 episodes, then it wouldn't have felt like 24, because they could have really stretched out the story, but they had to compact it into one season. They weren't, you know, it's getting to the point where you don't know if Homeland would be continuing on. So I think they're trying to, as writers and everything, trying to compact the whole story down into one season if possible. And obviously it can continue on from there as long as you don't kill off the Carrie Mathison character. It wouldn't be a problem. Now, there is a season 5. It is not on Shomi, so I can't watch that just yet, but I will look forward to it hopefully showing up before my Shomi service runs out. So maybe you'll see another Show Me Some Television regarding Homeland. Maybe you won't. But in terms of season 4, I like 24. Therefore, I liked season 4. I just, yeah, there's a lot of portions of it where I was kind of skeptical about what was going down. And the main thing is obviously the Carrie Mathison character shouldn't be there in the first place. Oh, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. Yes, so yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought about Homeland season 4 or Homeland in general down below. Did you watch it? Did you get into it? Did it, you know, not really float your boat? Let me know down in the comments below. I love to hear from you. Again, no spoilers if possible. I, you know, try and keep them out of it if you can. But yeah, let's get a discussion going. Until next video, take care. Have a good one.